All right, I think we're pretty close to live. I can't really tell yet. Welcome to the pre-show rigmarole. Oh, I forgot a soda pop. Let me do this and then copy and paste, and we will be underway. Pretty stoked, you guys, if you can't tell. Paste in links. Why can't I paste that link? There we go. Post it. And then one more. Paste it, post it. Biggity fucking bam. Don't need to post it there. I should probably get the intro up, ready to go. 'Tis that time, just about. I think I am ready right now.
1, 2, 3, 1.
Fucking idiot. Maybe I'm not. Let's try that again, shall we?
1, 2, 3, 1.
Finally, seeping is the key word here. Smart enough to figure it out. I just ask questions and talk shit. I'm not the news.
All I saw was a lake, mountains, and some trees. That's the running theme on this fucking podcast. Whoever deserves mocking, and that includes a host.
Man, there is a record amount of meth in this place.
Smitty.
Just sounds like stuttering Smitty.
Now it's 2022, y'all. Fuck milk crates, y'all.
Get the fuck out of here. What the hell? Everything. I forgot to turn my microphone on. Action. Happy what the hell everything day. January 17th, 2022. This is my name's Smitty. Hi. How are you guys? Thanks for joining me. Got a good podcast today. I'm psyched for it, man. Going to talk NFL football, fake emotions on social media, which is getting hilarious. All sorts of ramblings, all sorts of stuff, including how long do you unfriend, or how long before you unfriend a dead friend on social media, and brand new 420 break when your friend posts racist shit on Martin Luther King Day. Oh, it's a joy. It's a joy. Yes, happy. What the hell? Everything Day. I think we can do without this music now. See what happens. I play these intros on the live stream on YouTube. I play these intros, but what will happen is that YouTube will, duck the audio and fuck it up. They'll bring the levels down, make it sound all tinny. It loses bass. It just sounds like fucking shit because they are actually doing you a solid when when YouTube does that to like any sort of music on a live feed. They're basically doing you a solid so you don't get kicked off and hammered for copyright anything. They could do it differently, but they don't yet. It's just one of those things. Anyway, the live stream audio sounds fucky, but the audio that will get uploaded to Spotify directly after this is not so fucky. So it's a good day today. Good day. I feel all right. I had a really I worked all weekend, had a good weekend, but I was in bed not early Saturday night, like 12:30ish. And but it was like one of those things. I got off work at like 12 and didn't really stay up late. I usually get home and stay up, and then I'm usually in bed at 1 or 2. That's kind of my new schedule now. I just stay up late. But the last 2 nights, Sunday night, Saturday night, and the Sunday, I had fucking great sleeps where I went to bed at least relatively early and then was able to sleep until something resembling a decent hour, like 8 o'clock or something like that. I was up at 7 today, but I had good sleep. I went to bed at like 10 o'clock, 10:30. I got out of work early, and it was awesome because I was working with December, who will be recording a brand new Rock and Roll Roundtable podcast with on Thursday. Will be released next week, probably sometime. But working with December at Fresh Coast last night, it was kind of dead. It had gotten to the point people had trailed off, and she said the words that sometimes you just Love to hear, hey, you can get out of here if you want. Fuck yeah. I'm doing that, man. The idea of just like going to bed at like 10 rather than 1 or 2 and getting like a good solid 9 hours of sleep. I'm like, yeah, because that is the one thing, when I was doing the morning show and I was up ungodly fucking early, in bed ungodly fucking early, but I was sleeping for like 8, 9, 10 hours and I was having glorious sleep. And that's one thing that you lose, at least me, when you start, doing the opposite schedule. So I was glad to be able to get 2 really good nights. I fucking feel really well rested. I feel really good. And just continuing at these fucking killer elliptical runs. There'd probably be a time I won't talk about my elliptical runs, but it is not this day, because man, I was telling somebody this whole thing, my fucking, is this traps? I don't even remember what they're called. I used to be really fucking in shape. I used to know all the terms and do all the things. And I do elliptical with this arm thing that you push. You know what I mean? It's like cross-country skiing machine, essentially. And I'm like, man, my whole lower body, it's still like I still have the fucking muffin, that pushes the pants down like a fat ass. And you're like, oh man, this sucks. I mean, it's slimming down. But the part that's really taking shape is like the legs. I keep talking about I'm gonna have a great ass, but it's true, man. Again, it is not this day that I won't stop talking about it. But you do that shit every day. I do. So it was good to have a break. I did take a break. I think Thursdays are my break from workouts. That feels like a good day. I'm not working on Thursdays. You get a real rest, a real leg rest. And what did I weigh myself at today? I haven't been where I've wanted to be, mostly because of my shit diet still. But I'm just about to get under like 250, I want to say. Yeah, I'm at 252 right now. I was 262 about a month ago. So it's happening. It's happening. But man, yeah, this whole thing it's really filling in nicely. Not this part. The whole fucking from like the ass up to the tits are not great, but this part and this whole part, the legs are fucking fantastic. Man, they are having fucking crazy winter storms. I'm going to go ahead and type something in here real quick on my list of shit to talk about, because I wanted to mention this volcano in the Tongan Islands, which is fucking crazy. Was it just the island of Tonga? I do believe that's the official name on that island, the island of Tonga. Did you see that fucking thing from space? The satellite imagery where it was just like, and I know I would love to find out because it looked like this from the satellite imagery, the time lapse. It was like, it looked just like it was instantaneous. I believe the time on the satellite imagery was way longer. It was probably closer to like a couple minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes before it got to that big cloud point. It was an underwater volcano. And when I first heard that it was an underwater volcano, I was like, oh, it didn't have like an ash cloud. I never thought that it left the surface and erupted past the surface of the water. But once I realized it did, I'm like, God damn, they can't even get any help. They can't get any news on what's going on in that island, because there's like one fucking cable, I guess, running through that island. And that, I'm not saying that correctly. It's like one main fiber optic cable. I'm sure there are other cables, but all the fucking communications are down on the island of Tonga. They're trying to fly military helicopters and planes over it to deliver supplies and things like that, but they can't really fly over it. And this was a couple days ago, a day or so ago. They can't really fly over it because of the ash cloud. And it's so fucking crazy that we live in this world where there is so much technology. Everybody's got a fucking phone, but then it's something like a volcano happens and it's all fucking useless. We are so close to just like all of our technology going to shit. All it would take is like the fucking super volcano. Well, that would just wipe us all out. Boy, oh boy, if that could ever happen. But we are so close from just like a catastrophic event like solar flares. Just one gnarly solar flares will wipe out our fucking whole grid. We really are. I mean, where do those fucking tsunamis? I think they hit Alaska, they hit California. I'm sure Tongan Islands, or because I don't know if it's a string of islands with the island of Tonga being the main island. I'm not sure, but I think it's fairly close to New Zealand. But I mean, it was in the Pacific Ocean, so it was tsunamis were hitting fucking everywhere, doing damage in California. And it's just like we live in such a time where we haven't really had that many fucking terrible disasters that really fucked up humanity in our lifetime. So how old is humanity from like the written record? I know I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but a couple 100,000 years probably it has been since we really started keeping historical records. And I don't know how back. Well, Pompeii was BC, right? So how far back was the Pompeii? Anyway, the fucking point of the whole story is do I know what the point of the story is that we really haven't seen shit, and there's going to be a day soon where something, a meteor, a super volcano, all kinds of things. I'm sure all kinds of people were like, I am not going to heed that tsunami warning. It makes me think of like, don't look up, or it's just like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Also, winter storms down south, which is nuts. No, that doesn't have anything to do with a volcano. But it is interesting, I think I saw tornado warnings in Florida. There was an F2 tornado in Florida, other winter storms, North Carolina, just fucking shit ton, fucking huge pileups on the freeway. It's like these people have never driven in winter before, for one. For two, January tornadoes. It's almost like you could have predicted that. Almost. You want to talk NFL playoffs? Here's what was funny is I don't pay attention that much to football by and large. I always have ESPN on. It's always background music when I'm upstairs. I follow the fuck out of my Lions. But by and large, I don't really follow NFL as much as I could, or definitely as much as I used to, which is probably why I didn't know that the wrong game was on at the bar Saturday night. I think there was 3 games Saturday, including an 8:00 game. Same with yesterday. Anyway, the 8:00 game was Buffalo and at New England, and New England got fucking smoked. Now, what had happened was, I think it was the owner or the brewer had changed the channel from one game to the other. The one game had ended, the other game was on NBC or some shit. I'm like, are we going to change the channel? But somebody clearly didn't know what they were looking at and put on a replay game of the Tampa Bay Bucks against whomever, a replay of a regular season game. Now, I'm working at the bar. And nobody else clearly knew what the fuck was going on either, because nobody said anything until the very end. But I didn't notice because I was working. All I saw was I would look up occasionally, and I was like, okay, Tampa Bay's playing so-and-so. And I thought, and I remember what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, the Bucks, Tom Brady. And I had associated in my head subconsciously Tom Brady with the Patriots, who I knew were playing that night. So when I saw that the Bucks were playing, I was like, oh, that's the right game. And I kept watching, and I kept seeing Antonio Brown, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Why is Antonio? Did they because I had thought that they released him for being a jackass. I was pretty sure. And then I was like, I think they did release him, but there he is playing. Nobody's saying anything. And I wish I would have fucking looked and actually thought to like check it or something, because something was amiss and I didn't really pay attention to my instincts. At some point towards the close of the night, again, nobody said anything, but there a couple other guys were like, I think that's a replay. I was like, fuck, that's why. Like, I should have caught it. I wasn't responsible for the mishap, having the wrong game on the replay rather than the live playoff game that was on. Like, I wasn't responsible necessarily, but it was one time I really hated my lack of football knowledge. I'm like, I should have caught that right away. Absolutely. It was awesome to see that Dallas lost. Does my heart well. I was telling somebody at the bar the other day. They said, "Do you hate Dak Prescott as much as Aaron Rodgers?" I said, No. I hate the Cowboys. I don't know if I hate them as much as the Packers. I fucking hate them though. A lot. A lot. Fuck that America's team shit. They're not America's team. Go fuck off. But I don't hate Dak Prescott as much as I hate Aaron Rodgers. I hate Aaron Rodgers because he's smug as fuck and too good for his own good. And I denounce anything that has anything to do with the Green Bay Packers. But I really do love to take pride in the misery of Dallas Cowboy fans. It was like one of my favorite memes of this morning was seeing there was a whole post dedicated to shitty looking Cowboys fans and then Dak Prescott. Like, I don't hate Dak Prescott necessarily. I think he seems like a good dude and he's a really good quarterback. But I hate him because of his association with that shitty football team. So it was fucking awesome to see Dallas lose. And it was awesome to see him lose on a stupid ass fucking play call by Mike McCarthy. It was great. Anytime that team loses, what do they have? The longest streak of playoff games without a win? That makes me happy. Only Green Bay needs to lose next week to just bring balance back to the universe, balance back to the universe. We can right this ship, and then Detroit Lions are clear for a Super Bowl the next couple of years. Rams Cardinals tonight. I'm really torn who I'm going to root for in these playoffs, because I have two teams I think that I want to root for. And I said it at the beginning of the season and all this year. I've gotten in arguments with friends before about me rooting for Matt Stafford and the Rams, because obviously he played for the Lions and you got some kind of like connection there. I watched this fucking guy for 10 years, man. He's awesome. Even though he has a tendency to throw interceptions in terrible situations and make his team be need a comeback to win the game, I still want to see him win because I like him. He's a fucking gunslinger and he is a gamer. As long as he's not throwing interceptions, I still love him. But I also love Joe Burrow. I think I might want to see the Cincinnati Bengals win. It was nice to see him win a playoff game, because now the Lions are the longest streak without a playoff win. And it's not the same record as the Cowboys. The Cowboys record is based on times that you should have done well, but couldn't. And the Lions record has to do with just being shitty. That's absolutely what that is. But they have the longest streak now officially of longest or professional sports team in general of all the big sports. Longest streak without a playoff win. 1992 was the last playoff win for the Detroit Lions. 38-6 over the Dallas Cowboys. Ha ha ha. But man, seeing Cincinnati win gave me hope for the Lions. And it also, man, I get fucking jealous when I see Joe Burrow just smoking the other team. What do you throw for thousands of yards, millions of yards? It seems like Joe Burrow is throwing for in 16 touchdowns a game, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. It makes me jealous. It makes me jealous that I don't have that guy on my team. Probably shouldn't be, probably shouldn't be, but I am, and I can't help it. I am petty. I was having and I always have, switching gears, I always have this little internal struggle when I have a friend die on Facebook. And I'm not saying a friend that I know personally, but a friend that I only know on Facebook. Need to re-say that. Need to say that again. Need to correct myself again. It could be anybody, any friend on Facebook. Okay. The question is, how long do you wait until you unfriend? Because typically, if I don't know the person and they die, I'm like, unfriend. Because I don't know why. I don't know if it makes me a shitty person. I'm just like, I don't know them. And I don't want to see all the sadness associated with this now. Because all I want to do when I see somebody die on Facebook is to go look at their fucking page and to see what they look like. Who is this person? That's all I do. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of shitty. I didn't really know them in real life. Unfriend. But if they're friends that I know and they die, like just a couple days ago, and this is a person I knew, but I didn't know well, talked to a few times at the bar, out and about, shot a message with occasionally. And I don't know how they died. I don't know what the issue was. Clearly everybody was upset. And I haven't unfriended him yet, but for me, it always brings up the question, how long do you wait? If it's a really good friend, like I was thinking about if it was my family members or something. And this probably says something about me and how I handle like grief or something, because I just tend to just ignore it, put it off the side. It's like when I have breakups, I delete all the pictures. If I don't see it, it doesn't affect me. And that's just how I deal with it. If I don't see it, it's not a thing. And I know that has something to do with like when I say, I need to unfriend this person. How long is it going to be? So yeah, I have not unfriended the person that died the other day. But I'm like, yeah, I'll see them pop up a couple of times because people tag them in it to say that they were thinking of them or a memory or that they're missed or something like that. In the next couple of days, it'll pop up and I'm like, oh yeah, I got to unfriend this person because I don't want to see that stuff, which is probably fucked up. But here's the thing too, brings up another question. This has to do with like fake emotions on social media. And here's a good example why. I follow this Facebook blog page. I think it's a website as well called Big Think. And, they just post like scientific theories and things like that. And some of it's kind of pretentious. Some of it's kind of fucking interesting. But there was a post about this discovery, and it was a discovery of a 2,500-year-old skeleton who was allegedly murdered. They found this skeleton, 2,500 years old, 2,500 years old before Christ. They found evidence that it was murdered, hands bound, laying down in a pit, clearly not standing up in a pit, but laying down. And there were, I think, what did I wrote it down? 1.7 thousand sad face reactions on Facebook. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you people just oversensitive or are you full of shit? Because I'm trying to figure out which one it is. Like, I don't think, maybe again, it's just me. Are you genuinely sad about this skeleton? About this person that got murdered 2,500 years ago? Pretty much all of the reactions on Facebook now are almost single-handedly responsible for fucking us all up. The laugh reaction is probably the most responsible. Sad face. And honestly, I wish they need to come up with a few more. Do an eye roll. A good eye roll, a face palm. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. What are those? If we can have one of those. So funny. It's not funny. It's ridiculous. 100%. I think I said a couple podcasts ago. What the hell was I talking about? It has to do with like the future of our society. And I was watching the movie Surrogates, and I said, man, this is where we're headed, because this movie Surrogates is about people that want to stay in their house so they don't have to go out into society and risk accident and it's safer in your house. So they have these fucking surrogate robots that they brain baby themselves into. They just put this thing on and you can think your way through life with a robot rather than go and actually living it. I said, oh man, that's where we're headed. But then I watched the animated movie called Ron's Gone Wrong, and it's on HBO Max. It was all right. It was an animated movie. It wasn't great, but it was interesting in the fact that, oh no, that's exactly where we're headed. That's exactly where we're headed. And I don't even really know how much, because it's a newer movie, so I don't want to spoil it for you. But essentially, just all these kids, and it's society as well, but all these kids are just, you need to have all these likes and reactions, and people need to interact with you in order to have friends. Essentially, I'm stumbling my way through this explanation, but I think it's with fucking the new meta thing. Facebook is going to become meta and really focus on like augmented reality. But I think those reactions, the sad face, the fucking the angry face, the wow face, the care face, the fucking laugh face, whatever. Again, they probably started out good intention, but are just going to ruin everything. But that is the robot thing from Ron's Gone Wrong is, again, where we're absolutely headed, and needing to have all of these options. I feel this way, so you can feel it too. I honestly, it's so, we're supposed to be so connected, but it feels disconnected. There's nothing genuine about, or at least it's going to lose a lot of its genuineness. I don't know. Probably wasn't worth that big long sigh. Oh, what? Ugh. Hey, let's talk Fat Chicks Barbecue. Fat Chicks Barbecue in the bustling metropolis of Atlanta, Michigan. Destination barbecue. They actually ran out of food because they were so packed the other day. So they'll be back open Friday. They're still on winter hours, but they will be offering, I think it's the, what is that called? The Raging Rooster, some other kind of rooster, the 5-pound challenge burrito, the crab rangoon pizza. It was actually really awesome. I had 2 Facebook friends, and I don't know if they got the recommendation from me. They saw it on a podcast or whatever. All that matters is that I saw 2 separate Facebook friends, 3 separate Facebook friends post that they had food at Fat Chicks, and that it was fucking stellar. And the comment sections in all 3 of these posts were like, oh my God, I haven't had it, but I've heard about it and I want it. I have had it and I love it. It's the best place around. I love getting my opinion reinforced. I love having other people realize what we've said about them being destination barbecue and how fucking awesome they are. So make a plan to make a trip to Atlanta, Michigan. You're on the way to Alpena. You're on the way to where the fuck ever. Hit up Atlanta, Michigan. Fat Chicks Barbecue. I want to I do have let's see. I have to play this. I have to open this up. You don't know what I'm talking about yet. I hate this fucking Face ID thing. I had to get it on my iPhone because somebody gave me Apple money. Hey, here's 20 Apple dollars. And I'm like, okay, I guess. I didn't really realize I had to go through all this fucking rigmarole and get a Face ID thing on my phone. But I did. It is time for a brand spanking new 420 breaks. Let me click the button here for the live stream so you can't see me anymore while I play this 420 break. But it is time for your 420 break. Ha ha.
How you getting so smooth? You don't realize how high you're getting till it's too late. I am fucked up out here.
On this Martin Luther King Jr. Day, how are you choosing to celebrate? Quite frankly, I probably don't do enough. I mean, historically, I don't really do anything. That's probably because I'm a white guy that lives in northern Michigan and it flies under my radar because nobody ever brings it up. I had actually forgotten it was a holiday too today. Not because I don't care, but because I usually have to work on holidays and I just forget when holidays are. Seriously, I forget it's Easter and Thanksgiving all the fucking time. So what do you do to celebrate Martin Luther King Day? Watch the I Have a Dream speech, go on a freedom march, try to create a conversation? Most years, once I realize it's Martin Luther King Day, usually sometime in the afternoon, oh, duh, it's Martin Luther King Day, I usually just try and think about what it means to me and how genuinely glad I am to be living in a time that is starting to take the steps to get rid of racist bullshit. Finally, it seems like there are more right-thinking people than not. You know, people that are stuck in their ways, afraid of change, and that refuse to consider any other points of views or ways of life. I think of these things and feel mostly positive about our future, if there is one worth a fuck still for us, but mostly positive. Then I see how one of my white friends in my community decides to celebrate Martin Luther King Day by posting a racist as fuck meme in the name of satire and humor. Now, I'm usually the first one to defend satire and humor if it's not blatantly racist. So if you're listening rather than watching the video, the meme is as follows. Picture this. Some Rick and Morty looking animated white dude sitting in his car looking ahead of him, and the caption reads, "The warning signs of white supremacy." And I'm going to read these, even though son of a fuck. Man, sometimes I wonder why I even bother. Where was I? Sorry, you guys. Apparently I suck. Let's just try this. You know, people that are stuck in their ways, afraid of change, and that refuse to consider. Skip ahead. Finally, number 8, just trust the government. Morty looking animated white dude sitting in his car looking ahead of him, and the caption reads, "The warning signs of white supremacy." And I'm going to read these, even though it makes me cringe and fills me with rage. Number 1, full-time employment. Fart noise. Number 2, literacy. Number 3, professional or technical degree. Number 4, regular church or temple appearance. Ugh. Number 5, auto insurance. Number 6, good credit rating. Number 7, no criminal record. And finally, number 8, just trust the government. Pardon me while I roll my fucking eyes. All on this list, at least it seems to me, all on this list are there to illustrate some kind of dumb, poorly thought out persecution complex. If that's even a thing, which I'm sure it has to be. Look at these fucking people. You know, when you think everybody's out to get you, they're coming for your jobs, your guns, your way of life, your Christmas, your fucking sanity, apparently. Hey, dickhead, great list, but you forgot the most important and funniest ones, so here it goes. Number 9, the first 8 were all stupid bullshit, except number 8, but that's only when it's convenient for them or when we're bombing brown people. Then it's like, fuck yeah, government. Number 10, takes Columbus Day more seriously than Martin Luther King Day. Number 11, bullshit opinions based on some delusional moral authority. Looking at you, Jesus. Number 12, jerks off to the Second Amendment, but has a real problem with the first. And finally, number 13, meth habits. Lots of fucking meth. Ugh. Somebody asked me the other day if I, being from northern Michigan, considered myself a redneck. I'm like, fuck no. I'm half redneck, but I reject that other half. I said, but I am proud as fuck hillbilly. They couldn't grasp what I had said, so I had to explain. I said, look, to me, hillbilly's country. Walk on a gravel road in your bare feet right before you go help your dad slaughter a pig, then you take the trail home. The person to whom I was speaking then interrupted and said, but wait, if you consider yourself a hillbilly, why would you feel a need to reject that half? I said, no. I reject the redneck part. The redneck part to me is the problem with us as a whole and a huge identity crisis that the whites are clinging onto. The God and country crowd, okay? Ignorance in the face of overwhelming information. It's the epitome of stupid. But keep going. Keep saying your racist shit. Everybody's seeing you for what you are, and your time is coming to an end. You're being grandfathered out.
And that is something to fucking celebrate. That's your 420 break. Eat some Doritos, chill out, get your ass back to work. All right, guys, that is the 420 break. I can turn that down now. That is the 420 break, and that is time for me to get the fuck out of here. I will be back Wednesday, 2 p.m. for the live stream, audio up straight afterwards. Thursday, I'll be recording a Rock and Roll Roundtable podcast with December and Michael Stevens. That podcast, album review podcast, will be out on Spotify next week, and then exclusive video on Patreon. Speaking of Patreon, all the video editions of the What the Hell Everything podcast are moving to Patreon April 1st of this year. Patreon.com/we3Smiths, as well as a bunch of extra content as well that Patreon is going to get, and merch at some point will happen. At least I hope so. I'm planning on it. That is it, you guys. I want to thank you for joining me, and hopefully